Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This one's wife. Happy birthday, Lilibet. But from who? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. On June the 4th, it's Lilibet's 3rd birthday. I'm sure that many of you who are listening to me are parents yourselves. Oddly enough, you didn't inform me or the world about the forthcoming birthdays in relation to your children. How remiss of you. You didn't get in touch with various magazines to inform them of your little crotch goblin's birthday party that they had, where they and another number of crotch goblins took over, undoubtedly a soft play centre, making so much noise that your ears threatened to bleed. They ran around, fueled by sugary stuff, having the time of their lives, but oddly enough, you didn't feel compelled to get in contact with certain lifestyle magazines to ensure the world knew about it. Why not? Isn't that what everybody does? Isn't it the case that little Johnny or little Tabitha's birthday occasion has to be heralded to the world, not to your family and your friends, not to perhaps their classmates at school and their parents, but the world at large? Isn't that what you should be doing? Because accordingly to the way that this one's wife conducts herself, it is. Once again, we have the opportunity to see the paradox of the behaviour that the narcissist that is this one's wife engages in, whereby she necessitates the announcement of a celebration in relation to Lilibet's birthday, but then engages in behaviour which doesn't sit with that announcement. First of all, as I've just pointed out, it is unnatural to herald your child's birthday and birthday celebration to the world. Now, admittedly, I'm sure your children are the apples of your eye, and that's where it ends. Other than your immediate family and some friends, the world isn't particularly interested in your children. With this one's wife, it's somewhat different because she has worldwide infamy. Add to that, of course, the mystery that has continued to surround the existence of Archie and Lilibet. Nevertheless, she wants the world to know that it's Lilibet's birthday and that she had a party, not because she's proud of Lilibet, but because she wants the world to react to that news. Once again, the narcissist is using that child as an object to triangulate with the readership of publications for the purposes of drawing responses which are fuel. Think about it. You feel no compulsion to go to the newspapers saying, "Oh, little Timmy had a birthday on Saturday. He had a lovely time, jelly and ice cream, played some games. Here are some photos of the lovely occasion." Put that in your publication. Part of the reason you didn't do that is because you think, well, why would the newspaper be interested in my child? But the main reason why you don't do that is that it actually doesn't even occur to you to do so, because your emotional empathy for your child compels you to behave in a particular way whereby you don't utilise their birthday as a publicity stunt. Furthermore, you, as a non-narcissist, don't have that underlying compulsion to seek the prime aims, and with an absence of emotional empathy, a sense of entitlement, and an absence of accountability, you don't feel the need to use your child to achieve those prime aims. You actually would find it abhorrent if such a suggestion were made that you would use your child for publicity seeking. This one's wife isn't constrained in the same way that you are. Indeed, her narcissism encourages her. That background app that's pulsing away at the heart of what she is in effect whispering, you need to control, you need to get fuel, you need to manage the facade. And it suggests that she utilizes her child to achieve that, and hence we get the PR puff piece which is circulated this time to People, causing an article by Janine Henney and Simon Perry to embrace the headline, "This One's Wife and Prince Harry Celebrate Princess Lilibet's 3rd birthday with party at Monty Shitshow Home." Exclusive. Thus, This One's Wife demonstrates an absence of boundary recognition, the utilization of her child as an object to triangulate the readership with, a sense of entitlement to utilize her in that way, an absence of emotional empathy for Lilibet, for her to be used in this manner, and an absence of accountability with regard to behaving as an appropriate parent ought to. Hapless Harry goes along with it because, of course, his voice is meaningless these days. The report tells us This One's Wife and Prince Harry's little princess is turning 3. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will mark the 3rd birthday of their daughter, Princess Lilibet, on June the 4th, but they got the festivities started early with a pre-birthday bash. The family, who they, celebrated over the weekend with a party at home in Monty Shitshow, California, People confirms. Among the guests were close friends and family, as well as some of Lily's friends. Now, we'll come back to the attendees in a moment, but first of all, notice that it's her birthday on June the 4th, but the celebration took place over the course of the weekend. Now, it is quite common for some people to hold a bash at the weekend because it's more convenient for guests, etc., school's not getting in the way and so forth, although, of course, Lilibet doesn't yet attend school. But notice in the past that when it was, I think, her 1st birthday, a platinum jubilee couldn't shift them having a birthday celebration, supposedly on the lawn, with a photograph taken by Meghan Harriman. Yes, it's him again. That in the past, This One's Wife had to stay in the United States for Archie's birthday, rather than travel to the United Kingdom for an attendance. Those birthdays were immovable objects, but oh, look, all of a sudden, Lilibet's birthday isn't an immovable object. The party celebration can take place on the weekend, rather on the Tuesday, thus demonstrating that it's a load of bunkum with regard to the immovability of the celebrations. Previously, they were simply used as a device to enable This One's Wife to reject attendance at certain events and use the children's birthday parties as an excuse. But what about the attendees? Well, it won't surprise you to learn that the article that comes through People provides us with a picture of This One's Wife and Harry, which was taken around the time of their engagement announcement, a picture of Lilibet from her 1st birthday, thus 2 years old, a black and white photograph that we've seen before that was taken from the docuseries Harry and This One's Wife, where Lilibet is on Harry's shoulders and This One's Wife is carrying Archie, then a picture from the Nigeria trip, then a picture from the docuseries again of the birthday with a cake. Archie sat there looking bored. This One's Wife holding Lilibet in a rather unconventional way. And then another picture, also taken from the docuseries Harry and This One's Wife, showing This One's Wife wearing jeans and carrying both children, faces shielded from the camera. Lo and behold, no birthday picture this time around. What's the matter, Meghan? Has Vaseline smudged over your lens so you can't take a picture? Thus, This One's Wife announces the birthday, but we don't get any pictures. All People can rustle up are old pictures that have been used many times before because there's such a paucity of them. Surely the proud parents would like to release a photograph of their little poppet to the world. But This One's Wife does not do so. Why? Because it would overshadow her. Now, there'll be some of you that will immediately reach the conclusion there's no photograph because the child doesn't exist. That's a view you're entitled to reach. But let us assume that Lilibet does exist. Why then is there not a photograph produced? It is because this one's wife doesn't want to be overshadowed. This isn't about Lilibet's birthday. It's about showing to the world that this one's wife held a birthday celebration for her because she's such a good mother. That's what this release is about. Once again, it's all about this one's wife. It's not about Lilibet. She isn't wanting to release photographs because then there will be a flurry of activity commenting on the photographs and not upon how this one's wife is a wonderful mother for holding a birthday celebration, and thus she's overshadowed. And as you know, the narcissist cannot stand to be overshadowed. Accordingly, we get this PR release, which is done to manage the facade of this one's wife and to cause people to respond by going, "Oh, how lovely. It's her birthday. What a wonderful mother she is." But what about the attendees? Well, we have no photographs of those attendees either. But who might they be? Well, we know who it won't be. We know that Uncle William and Aunt Catherine weren't in attendance. We know that cousins George and Charlotte and Loose Cannon Louis weren't in attendance. Grandad Charles wasn't there. None of those individuals would, of course, be in attendance because they're cut off from their niece and nephew and grandchildren. We also know that Auntie Samantha and Uncle Thomas Jr. wouldn't have been in attendance, nor Grandfather Thomas Sr. They're all cut off. So presumably it was Doria. I guess Marcus Anderson was probably lurking around, as he usually is. I had to laugh. Someone described both of those individuals on the Saint This One's Wife subreddit as pimp and pothead. Quite apt descriptions, I should think. Anyway, who might have been there? Well, Lily's friends, who are they? Children at that age don't really have any friends. She's too young. So that seems like a load of bunkum. Family? The only family member will have been Doria. Close friends? A handful of friends, perhaps, of the Sussexes. Perhaps Meghan was invited, as he's now been chief hanger-on, lieutenant of this one's wife. Probably Marcus. Maybe some other people who are on the payroll turned up. Perhaps it included some of the staff. Maybe some of the maids and the cleaners and the gardeners were allowed to have a slice of cake. But we don't see any of these individuals. Now it might be that there was no birthday celebration at all. And this is just generated for the purposes of prompting a reaction. But one suspects that there was, but it's interesting, isn't it, that there is no picture provided, not one, no detail at all in relation to this birthday party. And it all comes down to this. This one's wife wants the world to know about the party. She wants you to know that she was a good mother and held this little bash for Lilibet. But she doesn't want you to see any of it, because that would result in her being overshadowed. And that simply cannot happen. I haven't read much of the article to you. The main reason being is it's just a rehash of things in the past, because there isn't really anything to talk about. People couldn't tell you who was there. People couldn't tell you whether there was a theme for the day. They can't comment on any photographs because none have been released. Instead, the filler is about details that have been given previously about Lily's behaviour, talking about the Nigeria trip. That's it. But once again, this one's wife isolates this child from her family and simply uses her, like the narcissist does, as an object for the pursuit of the prime aims. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.